Welcome to another edition of the Will Be Blood Fight Show. I'm your host, Dave Duez. Who I got on the line is my homeboy, my brother, Blood. How you doing, Blood?
What's going on, man? What's good with you?
You know, man, we're always chopping it up, brother, on the phone, and this is actually the first time we even thought of, hey, man, why don't we put both our voices on the cam and do what we normally do best, right?
Whole nother story right there, but
exactly.
Right now I'm looking, Claudio ain't signed to fight nobody, and I wonder why that is.
And he's with Top Rank, and that's another thing. He's with Top Rank, right? You know, he's signed with one of the most powerful promoters out there to date right now, but can't seem to get a fight. It's not like he's signed with one of these lowball promoter guys, or even that are struggling to get a venue televised, or even get a venue at a respectable location. He's with one of the top guys out there, and he can't seem to get a fight.
Even Margarito said himself that he was not really interested in fighting Claudio again. He did kind of mention that he didn't really have no interest in fighting him again, because people know that this guy is the truth, man. And he needs to get a shot, because he's definitely at the top of the division. And us hardcore fans noticed that. We noticed that a lot of these people don't want to seem to fight him for some reason. They want to act like he doesn't exist.
Yeah, exactly. You know, now let's talk about we're gonna move away from the hand wraps, guys. Let's talk about Kaladi here, okay? Sugar Shane Mosley destroyed, upset the world by dismantling, one of the toughest men in 147, Antonio Margarito. But now he's looking to hopefully fight maybe pretty boy Floyd Mayweather. But let's say Floyd says, "No, what? I'm not going to take that fight. Too big of a risk at the moment. I'd rather sit and wait to see what happens with Manny Pacquiao versus Ricky Hatton." But I would like to see Shane not wait for Floyd, but really go after Kaladi. I mean, what do you think about that fight? Shane Mosley versus Joshua Kaladi bout.
Oh, man, I would love to see Shane Mosley and Claudio get it on. I think that would be, amongst us hardcore boxing fans, we know what that fight's about and how much that fight means to the welterweight division. But there are going to be those people who are going to say, why should Sugar Shane Mosley take a risk, because Claudio's not a huge name. He is a huge name.
And neither is Shane Mosley, though. I mean, let's be realistic.
To the average guy, they're not going to know who Joshua Claudio is. So
absolutely.
They're going to be looking at the money aspect again. And, you get all these promoters and all these other people involved, and then, the next thing, that fight is going to be put under the wraps, just like a lot of other great fights.
Absolutely, but let's go back. Look, you're right. Hardcore fans are going to know and are going to be celebrating about that bout. But, and you said right now, well, who is Joshua Kaladi? But the same goes for Shane. I mean, we got to remember that both times the Staples were not sold out because of Shane. I mean, Shane could not even sell out the Home Depot, which is a small place to hold a fight, when he faced Ricardo Mayorga. So he's not really a household name either, unless he's going to be fighting somebody that has a large following. So, but Joshua Kaladi, though, makes all sense in, let's make the fights that make sense, right? I mean, if you want to prove you're the best in the world,
right?
And if you're
and he did it, and he probably did it with Margarito having loaded gloves.
Yeah.
So that you have to consider, because it's a good chance Margarito had loaded gloves when he fought Claudio. So, that has to be considered. There's another fight out there that Mosley might be able to take, would be Berto. Berto in his last fight, maybe he's not ready for a fight like a fighter like Sugar Shane Mosley, but he already has a belt, so he has to step up to the plate too. So,
but if I was on Mosley's team, I would be telling him, go after Berto right now. Why wait? Right now we've seen Berto has been exposed. There's a lot of questions in the air about Berto. Why not go after that Berto right now while he's young and he's unexperienced, and you want to be the man at a welterweight division, the unified champ? You go after one of the guys that have the strapping belt, and that's going to be Andre Berto. Speaking of Andre Berto, having that fight with Luis Collazo, who, in my eyes, his stock has just raised rapidly quick facing Berto. So if Kaladi can't get Mosley or none of the titleists, I would love to see Luis Collazo face Joshua Kaladi.
That would be a good fight. Because right now I don't really think Collazo lost a whole lot of respect. I mean, he actually gained some respect from the way he fought in that fight against Berto. It was a very close fight, and Berto had to pull it off in the end. Collazo has fought. I thought he beat Ricky Hatton. I don't care what nobody says, but I thought Collazo won that fight.
Right.
And then Collazo's already fought Mosley also, so he's definitely in the whole picture right now. He's still in the picture.
You know what? And we talk about such a deep division, the welterweight division, man. I mean, so many fights there that could be made. The opening for Azteca channel had Jesus Soto Corraz, who is in the same camp of the Margarito people, come out, and he had a good win. He's got a lot of similarities of Margarito, takes a lot of shots, but gives them back. There's another guy there too. I mean, so my whole point is this: there are fights out there for Joshua Kelati, but for some reason, nobody's knocking on his door, and that's something I'm just very puzzled about, and I don't understand is why Bob Arum holding this man back so much. I mean, what do you have to lose by putting Joshua Kelati in there?
At this point, I'm just totally clueless as to why Joshua Kelati is not getting the fights that he deserves. I mean, he beat Zab Judah, Zab Judah's a smaller welterweight, but this is a fighter who's fought everybody, and Joshua Kelati pretty much made easy work of Zab Judah. I think that people just don't want no parts right now. I hate to say it, I don't want to call any certain fighters scared or anything like that, but right now it's just too big of a risk factor for a lot of these fighters. You got Miguel Cotto, he's getting ready to fight Jennings. Jennings, I believe, only has one loss. He seems like he's talking a lot of smack about what he's going to do to Cotto. Maybe after Cotto beats Jennings, maybe he could fight Joshua Kelati. I don't know.
I doubt it very much. I don't think I don't see Cotto fighting Kelati at the moment. I see Cotto trying to redeem himself and still get back what he has lost after facing Antonio Margarito. I want to talk about another fighter who I believe is a avoided fighter at the moment, and he's fighting Saturday night. Nate Campbell. What do you think about the Galaxy Warrior, brother? Am I the only one that thinks that he's the Joshua Kelati at the lightweight division?
Oh, man. I agree with you totally. This man, he's been there for so long, man, and this guy, people don't want him, man. There's no parts of him.
Why is that? Why do you think that nobody wants this guy? I mean, this is a prospect. This was a guy that had a lot of hype when he was a prospect, but tend to fall off because he was showboat, gets knocked out by a Robbie Pendon, right? Then loses to Casa Mayor, and really was kind of written off, but then makes a phenomenal comeback. You can even say Fight of the Year comeback, right? Not Fight of the Year, I mean comeback of the year when he faces Juan the Baby Bull Diaz. After defeating Juan the Baby Bull Diaz, he's now fighting, what's the guy's name? Fonica, something like that.
Yeah, he's Fonica or some shit like that.
Now, who's he?
Ali.
Ali.
Yeah.
Who's he?
Ali Fonica or some shit, his name is?
Yeah, exactly. So that's this guy that's more of a fill-in. You know what I mean? It's like when you have a record and you need to just fill in the slots, so you put on anything that you just recorded last week. That's the type of fight that I look at. There's no hype to it. There's no significance of defeating this Ali guy. But why isn't he facing?
It's because when he fought Juan Diaz, man, Juan Diaz at the time was like 32-0, 33-0. He had just knocked out Julio Diaz. He was looking really good, man. A lot of people felt he was going to beat Nate Campbell, and Nate Campbell went in there and handled his business then. And people, been seeing what Nate Campbell been doing and what he's been bringing to the table. They just don't want to take a chance right now with him. That's what it is.
What other fighter out there, man, do you think is right now one of the most avoided fighters?
Oh, I think there's a lot. Let me see. Another avoided fighter to me is Paul the Punisher Williams. Still, even though Winky Wright's stepping up, a lot of people don't want no parts of Paul the Punisher Williams.
Now, good fight for Williams, bro, or bad fight for Williams, or is it bad fight for Winky or good fight with Winky? What do you think?
I think that this is a good fight for both fighters at this time in their career. Winky Wright, he's been inactive for a little while. And this is the kind of fight he needs to put himself back up in there. You know, if he could come in there and he could outpoint Paul the Punisher Williams and get a decision, I don't see him knocking out Williams. But if he could get a decision, that puts him right back in the picture right away. And Winky Wright's moving on in years, too. He's getting older, so he needs to do something now. So, yeah, maybe this might be a little much coming off a layoff, but I think at this time he's at a crossroads in his career, and this is the kind of fight he needs. It's a good fight for Paul the Punisher Williams, too, because Winky Wright is an experienced fighter that brings a lot to the table, and if he could beat Winky Wright, that's a big test for him. And that just moves him on to bigger and better things also. I see Paul the Punisher Williams' future as at middleweight at this time.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the only thing I'm going to add my input on that, obviously, it's going to be this. Look, I think really